What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is legs, but in a commercial gym. I like to switch up the way I train legs. So today you're going to notice it's going to be a little bit unusual. So certain things that you probably do at the end, we're going to do in the beginning. That's what I like to do, just to make it more interesting and to make it less boring. So this is just another variation of a leg session that I like doing. So hopefully you all enjoy it. Well, guys can do this and women can do this. As usual, I'm going to put description of the tempo, the sets, the reps, rest as well. And as always, if you have any questions, leave a comment below and I'll be happy to answer them. Let's get to it. Before we start the workout, I'm going to run through a quick warm-up, various things that I do before we get into the workout. So after the warm-up, I usually finish with a few sets on the abductors. Now I know a lot of guys won't go anywhere near this machine, and that's fine, you don't have to. I normally use this for glute activation more than anything. Notice how I lean forward and I don't sit down. I like to contract my glutes before abducting my legs. Usually hold for about 2 seconds at the contraction phase and slow on the eccentric. So first workout, we're starting with walking lunges. Start with smaller steps, quad focused for 10 steps, and then longer steps, focusing on using my hamstrings and glutes to bring me back up. I also squeeze my hamstrings and glutes at the top of the movement. As always, with every single exercise, the weights changes each set. So find a weight that will challenge you and then increase that weight each set. Then I superset the lunges with calf raises on the machine. So pay attention to how I do this. It's a 2 to 3 second eccentric and a 1 to 2 second hold at the bottom of the movement, and also the same thing at the top of the movement. So a 1 to 2 second squeeze on the contraction phase. Then straight after the machine, I get off and do about 10 to 12 reps standing. The last set on the calf raises will be a drop set also. Now I'd like to make a point about all the workouts I upload. These are many variations of how I train and what I prefer. I always change up my training as I find it keeps me motivated and makes training interesting, and more importantly, it's what has worked for me over the years. Some workouts I go crazy heavy, some workouts I focus on time under tension, and that's a big part of how I train. I always focus on time under tension, except when it comes to strength training, which obviously is low volume, so you're just focusing on going from point A to point B. Next we have the heel elevated squat with a narrow stance. I usually either use my Ollie shoes, so if you have Olympic shoes that's fine, or I have my heel elevated with plates. Having a narrow stance allows me to focus more on quads. This is intentional. However, a wider stance, if you prefer, is absolutely fine. Pay attention to the time under tension, aka the tempo, as they change each set. So keep an eye out on the description box for that. And then supersetting the squats with feet elevated reverse lunge. This is a great hamstring glute exercise. I always pick a weight that will be slightly challenging and use that for the entire session. However, you can increase the dumbbell weight each set if you prefer. The last set on the squats will be a drop set of 4. So once you get to the 4th drop, we're going to slow down the eccentric by 4 seconds, as you can see in the video. Next, we're on to the leg extensions. I like to start with 100 reps as a warm-up, keeping the weight fairly light and aiming to complete the 100 with minimal rest. I usually change my feet position from pointing my toes forward to pointing them slightly outwards. And I usually do that every 20 reps. And then superset the leg extension with a single leg curl on the leg extension machine. I like using the leg extension as it allows me to lean forward slightly to activate my hamstrings, really squeezing and curling up with my hamstrings, and about a 2-second on the eccentric phase. I try not to fully extend my leg down to keep constant tension on my hamstrings. Think something similar to a bicep curl, increasing the resistance each set. However, you can use a normal leg curl machine. That's absolutely fine. The next 2 sets will be single leg. Again, focusing on the tempo on this, keeping to around 2 to 3 seconds on the eccentric. Finishing off with a reverse drop set. So for example, if you start with 30 kilos, increase it to 40. Next drop set will be 45, 50. On the last drop set, take the weight back up to the original starting weight and do as many reps as possible till failure. Next we have dumbbell box squats. I prefer a narrow stance when doing a dumbbell box squat. However, if using a bar, I usually have my feet wider. Again, nice and controlled on the eccentric. I like to just slightly touch the bench with my glutes and push straight back up. This would allow me to focus more on my quads rather than using too much of my hamstrings. And then supersetting the box squats with the Smith machine split squat. I like using the Smith machine, however, using dumbbells is fine. This is just one of my many variations. So one week I'll use a Smith machine, another week I'll do dumbbell split squats. If you struggle with stability, then the Smith machine helps with this movement. This is a great exercise for hamstrings and glute development. Again, 2 seconds on the eccentric each rep. So as a finisher, I usually like to go on the spin bike for about 10 minutes on a fairly hard resistance and without leaning on the handlebars. Be warned, there will be crazy DOMs after doing this for a few days, and you'll probably hate me for this, but I'm perfectly okay with that. So that's the workout done. That was hard, but in a good way. Hope you guys enjoy the workout. As always, leave a comment below if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching. I am going to get some food because, as always, I'm hungry. I'm always hungry. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. That would be awesome. And catch you later. Peace out.